Hello everyone, this is Mihai from Procesio, and today we're going to show you how to connect HubSpot with Procesio in order to integrate it with any other application within your business processes. But before we move on, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when we release new videos, and make sure that you share this video. The first thing that we're going to do is go to HubSpot, to the settings, private app, create a private application. Let's call it Procesio Demo Video. Set the logo. You can give it any other name that you want. Then you need to set up the scopes. Basically, the scopes are the limits in which HubSpot is going to allow you to make changes or get data from HubSpot using this application. I think we need companies, we need contacts, we need deals, for example, we need leads, we need orders, and basically anything that you want and need for the purposes that you are creating. And I would say that's about it. Then if you want to get notified by changes that are happening within HubSpot, so there are two ways that you can connect to HubSpot. One is query HubSpot for different aspects. And the second one is as the data changes within HubSpot, you can get notified directly within Procesio and then tie this data or do whatever business flows that you want as you get notified. In order to do this, first let's create a subscription, and we're going to select what are we subscribing to. Like we're subscribing to contacts, company, deal, and so on. And what are we listening for? For created, deleted, merged, restored, associated, and so on. So basically this is what you would need to do. Hit subscribe. Now everything is paused because we didn't yet create the application. Keep in mind, this webhook part, you're not required to do this unless you want to get notified as something changes within your HubSpot account. But we're going to show you how to do this. So if you are not interested in this, skip the video a little bit. Now, in order to set it up, we need a webhook, and the webhook we're going to create it within HubSpot, and we're going to say here HubSpot app. This is the URL that's needed to be created. Okay. We select all the event subscriptions that we created and hit activate, and then we can also start listening. The listening period is about 5 minutes. So in this time you need to create, to change something within your HubSpot subscription so that HubSpot sends a message to Procesio, so Procesio captures the data structure. Now let's do exactly that. I will be creating a contact just to show you how you do this. Create contact. Okay. Okay, and let's create it. So what's going to happen as the webhook in Procesio is listening, at some point is going to get notified. I noticed that HubSpot is not immediately sending the signals, so it's waiting for some period of time before sending the signal. Okay, cool. So everything seems set up. Let's create the app. We have a confirmation page that I'm going to continue. And now we have the token. I will show the token. Make sure you copy paste this because this is very important to have it. I will paste it here in my notepad, and I will close this. Let's see, still nothing. Delete it, permanent, delete. Let me see if I get, okay. So apparently you first need to create the application, then you will get the event almost instantly. Let's save this. And now we have the webhook connected to the HubSpot application. Now the next thing that you would need to do, actually, if you want to monitor everything that has happened here, you can monitor it here. But in HubSpot, that's about it. You don't need to do anything else. Now let's go back to Procesio. Let's create a credential. Let's call it HubSpot API. The credential type should be REST API here. Then you would need API key authorization. The key to the authorization is authorization. The value is bearer, your token access. And now I'm going to copy paste here. So this is the token that you copied basically from here, from the access token. This is the one, okay? And make sure that you have this checked header. Now in order to test this, so this is a path that endpoint that we can test. Let's test this. We see that we get the data, save the credential, and now we can move to the next step, which is creating the process. Let's create the process. Let's call it HubSpot call app API. What we need here is to use an call API action that we're going to configure in a second. Let's call it call API HubSpot. Select the credential that we just created and now configure it. Let's set the verb get. Also the same path. You can have the path as it is here, or you can configure it like this in the query params and archived false. And let's clean this up. And this is how it should look like. Then we set the response status. Okay. Tagger, I can set it to output. Then the response body. Notice that I'm searching, and as it doesn't find anything in the list of existing variables, I can create the variable, and that's much faster. I'm going to set this as JSON, also output, and also I'm going to set the response headers. It's not necessary for you to create all those variables, but this is very useful for debugging purposes. Let's also test this to make sure that everything is configured correctly. I see that I'm getting the data that I'm interested in. Let's save it. Let's run it. Check the instance, and everything should work just fine, as expected. Now I see the response body, and I also have the response headers. Those are not required, but if you need to do anything with this, you can do it. Now the next step that we can do is actually create a process that is going to capture the webhooks that are sent by the HubSpot app. And this process is not actually going to do anything. I'm just going to set it up like this, so it's a valid process. I'm going to go here to webhooks. I see my webhook. I can create new ones if I want to, or I can assign the existing ones. And the existing one is basically the one that I've just created. Click Save, Validate, make sure that everything is correct, Save Process, and that's it. I'm not going to run it because I'm expecting that this process is going to run on its own after it gets triggered by an event in HubSpot. Let's do it again. I'm going to create a contact. Test webhook. Create. Now, what I'm expecting to have here is to have an instance that was just created with the information about the fact that a contact has been created, and this is the object ID of the contact. And also based on this, on the fact that it's a contact creation trigger and the object ID of the contact, now I can call the API and get this contact into whatever business processes I need to do with it. So that's about it. Thank you everyone. Have fun with this use case. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification button so that you get notified when new videos are arriving. And if you like this video, make sure you share it and create a lot of new use cases.